Hi, my name is Pagan and I am the creator of Effect's Frat-Boy Behaviour hands-on female Australian streamers.
There is a growing concern for the amount of incels that blame women for their failings in life or being a distraction. And this toxic behavior that is growing from gatekeeping to harassment and even mansplaining has been expressed. There is a tendency for people to be extraordinarily spiteful around the video games industry about who to support, which games are good, who is the better creator, and no one wants to be a part of that. White women get a certain amount of harassment, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The rest is hurled at minority creators, but there is more awareness drawn to that now that there has been light shared to it, but that is because we have more ways to communicate now than we ever had before. How and why is the video game industry and content creation such an unwelcoming space for women?
There's more awareness around the hostility towards women and femme-presenting creators specifically. But also we have to factor in that we have the privilege of being, while still women, white women. But yeah, I couldn't say with full confidence that it's the most hostile or most unwelcoming. I'm sure there are women in STEM who have had truly horrendous experiences. Engineering, any male-dominated field, I think there is definitely an element of hostility towards anyone who doesn't fit in that criteria.
Oh my god, yes. It is the most unwelcoming place to be as a woman, is anything to do with the games industry, online, anywhere. If it's games or pop culture and you're a woman, that is the worst place to be. The games industry on the professional back end of just working in esports or working in sound and lighting on esports stuff or working on a convention, that whole world, even the women have this mentality of there can only be one woman in the room sort of thing. Like there's the one token woman in esports.
I mean, this doesn't apply to every woman, but you'll find that there is more hostility from women in these spaces because they are worried that there isn't enough room for everyone. And there isn't because the men won't let women in. Women are not taken seriously, and a lot of creators that do really well, a lot of them are generically attractive women. You get hired by men less about your skill set, more about visual appearance. So how do they treat women in this industry?
Everything that I work in is in male-dominated field. The entertainment industry as well, audiovisual, sound and lighting, that's male-dominated. It happens to me in every single industry that I will get treated differently just for being a woman. The other day I was at work pulling a road case out of a van, and this is something I do on the daily, and this one guy come running over and he was like, "Do you need a hand?" And I was like, "I'm good, bro. I do this every single day of my life." That happens in esports too. You'll be trying to set up a match or something, and someone will come running over being like, "Do you need a hand?" It's I got this.
Women get treated softer and in a spoken down to corporate softness. It's the type of softness they don't care, but they have to be nice to women because they can't be nasty, otherwise they will lose their job. And it's a societal problem. And it's super prevalent in gaming, esports, online creation because it's male dominated and it's super prevalent. Flirting happens between everyone.
Flirting from people who are supposed to be my boss, that sort of stuff all the time. Anyone in a position of power will make a pass at you. Anyone that you work with will just make a pass with you. The amount of people that just send you Facebook friend requests and try and get your number and that sort of stuff, just because you exist as a woman in that space is nuts. I literally, if I go to an esports tournament and do sound on an esports tournament, I'm not even there in cosplay. They don't even know that I have a following or anything like that. I'll get flirted with just because I'm a woman in that area. That's it.
You use each other for social following and stats and connections just to get higher, as it is a super competitive industry and very oversaturated. But there are instances of people using their clout and following and their position of standing to prey on vulnerable people.
That constant fear of I can't say anything and I can't leave this situation because if I leave, there goes my entire career, there goes my whole livelihood, there goes my dream. And you literally have to sit there and suck it up and find a way to deal with it, because it is quite literally that person has the ability to go and blacklist you from the whole industry because they have connections. Who are they going to believe? The young woman with that's up and coming that no one knows, no one really cares about, Or are they going to believe the man that everyone knows and is best bros with everyone?
Everyone knows everyone in this industry. Everyone that is big and relevant, they know each other, and they have to make more content. But in that, it becomes such a buddy-buddy club, and it tends to be skewed more male-leaning because there are more men in this industry.
I'm going to believe this random person, and like we can weaponize our followings to shut them down if they try and speak out and cancel that person's career or whatever. So it's like super volatile, super toxic.
And we see it time and time again. Victims get abused and get blamed for this abuse.
Even if you are the victim, you still have to wear the consequences of everything. They get away scot-free.
That's really
And I'm
bad.
saying this not as a generalized uneducated statement of like a bystander. I'm saying this as someone who's lived through it. You are on the receiving end. Like, you cop the flack, you cop the consequences, and they just continue. If anything, they grow from it.
But even then, the way we dress is commented on, which makes the space even more unwelcoming. First, men are often graphically depicted as aggressive and hypermasculine, while women are portrayed in an overly sexualized manner and are more often depicted as damsels in distress.
I did have someone come into a stream once, and I was wearing it was hot, and I was wearing a tank top, strappy, you know, I have boobs. They exist. They're existing on my body. And someone did comment at one point that I was doing that for attention, or I that was how I was trying to get views. And I'm like, my friend, my person, my visitor to stream, I'm simply in a warm room existing as someone with mammary glands. Just there. And it does make you feel, it made me at least feel like I was being objectified then for something as simple as existing.
Oh, hey, what are you doing?
I'm just getting ready for stream.
You're dressing up for Halloween for your Twitch stream, right? Okay. Are you sure what you're wearing is appropriate?
I mean, it's Halloween and I thought I'd dress up. A tavern wench. I mean, it's kind of like all I've got right now.
You're not worried that you're going to get some sort of comment or anything like that, are you?
Why should I be concerned or worried? Like, why are you raising these concerns that this might be deemed inappropriate or people might sexualize me? It's just a costume.
Well, I mean, I'd just be worried because, you know, you're dressed as a tavern wench, and it's very revealing and sexualized. You're not worried about that at all? That, you know, people might perceive you as someone completely different than who you are?
I mean, you can't really speak because it's what you're saying is quite hypocritical, the way that, I mean, you dress when you go out and you reveal a lot more than I do. I'm literally just in a costume. There's nothing sexual or anything like that, and people shouldn't perceive me as something different if I'm dressed in a costume.
I know I shouldn't be commenting. I'm sorry. I know it's just a costume. I know. Don't bring me into this. I don't dress up like what you're dressing up as right now.
Just, no, I'm not going to change just because of your opinion. Like, you're gaslighting me into being concerned that this isn't appropriate. It's just a costume and I'm not revealing anything.
Just a thought, you know? I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. Just a thought that you might want to reconsider what you're wearing for your own safety and for your own self-branding. You don't want to ruin your image dressing like that.
You know, you don't get to control or say what I can and can't do online on my own platform. Your opinion is your opinion's warranted, but it's not needed or necessary at this point in time.
And again, from one comment, and this is what I mean when I say it's not just one comment, it's what that one comment represents in the grand scheme of everything you've heard all your life. That one comment was like, I'm being perceived sexually, It's about my body, not my talent, not my voice, not my skill, my creativity, my brain. It means nothing. It's just my boobs. And that is all I'm being brought down to now. And I don't like that. The only thing I can do right now is cover it up.
The sexualized environment combined with men being the overwhelming vocal majority suggests an environment not unlike many current work environments where women can represent as little as 10% of the professional workforces. And this suggests that competitive online games may represent a common phenomenon that women encounter. Additionally, it reinforces that women are entering a male-dominated competitive arena where they must compete in a direct fashion along an overt dominance hierarchy, rather than the more indirect route accustomed to through evolutionary history. Video games have been populated by people who have felt marginalized in some way, be it for their interests, their hobbies, but gaming is now more mainstreamed compared to what it was when, I was a child. But it does create some sort of ownership and protectiveness over the identity in which you forge by identifying as a gamer. And anyone who doesn't fit in that mold, in your eyes, trolls' eyes, is open season for criticism and silence.
I'm terrified. I have joined multiplayer parties before, back when Mass Effect 3 had their online, and I unfortunately was put in a lot of lobbies and had a lot of teams that were just really toxic. And the second of a voice that doesn't sound particularly masculine came in.
I just want a girl that plays video games, Like they're just so hard to find. I don't know how you guys find them. I play video games. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Name every Call of Duty there is right now.
Yeah, some of the stuff I was hurled in those early days, I don't do more. I can't handle it. It makes me very anxious. I don't want to deal with it. So I choose to remove myself from that. And thankfully, there aren't a lot of games that I'm missing out on because of that, because I'm a single player gal. I'm a story driven lady. So, yeah.
So it's the idea that women are taking up space, invading a space we haven't earned the right to be in, which is the general definition of what misogyny is, and a general lack to want to analyze that any further as to why you feel the need to comment on such a thing.
And so I tweeted out, the new Halo Infinite trailer came out and they revealed the new art style, and I tweeted out, man, I really don't like this art style because it looks like kids' toys. Because it does. They're like sort of babying up the franchise to sell more toys and to appeal to younger kids and get them into the game. I'm like, that's fine. I just tweeted out, man, I don't like this. People sent me death threats for like a week on Twitter. That's not a joke, and I'm laughing about it because it is really funny how I was like, I don't like the style of this, and they were like, well, you should fucking die. And I was like, I tweeted out as well, I made the mistake of saying, Halo and Master Chief is just a male power fantasy, because it is the definition of a male power fantasy. And everyone was like, oh, you hate men, you should die. And I was like, do you have more than one brain cell? Like, have you ever understood media and, like anything as a concept? So I don't know.
It is real world sexism that has been amplified with the growth of the internet. And it allows all these little community spaces of people who think the exact same way as you. It doesn't help that algorithms and feeds feed you this content that you want to see. So you see the same people with the same viewpoint as you, and it goes around until you believe you are the only correct person and everyone thinks the same way as you think. So when someone comes across your feed and doesn't fit the mold of what you've been force-fed by the internet, then it is much easier to attack them because they are the other groups. So why are we being asked to prove that we like games and the industry?
I've been asked to prove that I'm a Halo fan several times, with everything. That's yeah, dude, I have every single Halo book that's come out, all of the games, so many statues, figures, everything. I've got a vinyl record on the floor behind me from Halo, but I don't play Halo. I've never played Halo in my life. No, I could never be a real Halo fan. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a case of like, I think specifically the Halo community is super male dominated and super toxic. It is that full on internet, like, we are just gonna bully and make fun of people, and like super, I don't know, like insular and full of this kind of like, I would call it friendly hate, but it's not really. It's just toxic for the sake of being toxic. And when you tweet out something that the Horde doesn't like or doesn't agree with, because they all think the same way, because they only ever interact within this like tiny little bubble, you just, that's it. The whole Horde is coming for you. Like,
And there you have it. There's the beginning of the effects that frat boy behavior has on women in the gaming industry. That's the topic I'm going to explore in my research project, and whether you would like to subscribe or not, you can base it on that.